back to my channel. I'm going to be showing you guys how to cut out a raglan sleeve pattern. The first thing you're going to do is just to get your pattern. So I already have the bodice pattern here. This is it here. As you can see, I just taped it down at the shoulder part. This is it here. So now I also have the sleeve pattern ready. So all I have to do is just to center it as where this center line is here. You see, just the center matching up to the center of this one here. So now I'm going to take it and pin it down. So guys, I'm going to simplify this tutorial. So guys, just ignore this opening here. You know, normally it will fit in this way, right? When you sew it down, it will fit in perfectly like this. But this is a pepper, so that's why you're seeing this opening here. But let's move along. So now the next thing you're going to do is to check the length you want, how far you want this to come down here, how far you want the line to come down. Normally some people have like up to 3 inches from the neckline up to like 2.5. It depends on you how sharp you want it to be. So let's say I decide to use about 3 inches in front here, or let's say I'm just going to curve it and use about 3 inches, which is somewhere here. I've marked it, so I just checked at 3 inches point is here from the tip of the shoulder, and then I'm also going to mark the same 3 inches at the back. You can use 2.5 at the back, it depends on you. So I'm using 2.5 at the back and then 3 inches in front. So now at this point you're going to connect this line to this angle here. Connect it to the end of this where this armhole cuts at this point here. So I'm going to connect from this point down to this line like this, just like that. And then you're also going to connect the line from this neckline here to this point, to the edge of this your armhole, the same thing. So that's how you're going to connect it. So guys, the line mustn't be straight, because most times if you see the raglan sleeve, sometimes it has like a curve. So instead of making it like a straight line, you can go in and give it like a curve if you don't want it to look so straight like this. So you can just blend it in form of a curve like this. It depends on you what you want. So whichever one you want, you can make yours straight, you can make yours curved. So after that, now all you have to do, let me repeat it again. Remember, this part here is because it's on a pepper, but normally it will fit into your sleeve like this, right? So if this wasn't on a pepper, this sleeve will cut in this way, right? Like this. So it will close up this way on your on a fabric, right? But since it's on a piece of paper, I'm just going to tape it down like this, and then I'm just going to tape it down with my tape. So guys, if you look at this, you see my back neckline is shorter and my front neckline is the 3 inches, the back neckline is 1 inch, and you see it also has a zip allowance. But I folded the zip allowance in case if you're making it on a stretchy fabric, then you know it's not going to have a zip allowance, then it's just going to be this form here. But if it's on a cloth that is going to have a zip, then you open it up, it still doesn't change anything. I'm just trying to show you guys that this bodice is going to work on a stretchy fabric and fabric that is not stretchy, that needs a zip at the back. So either way, I'm going to just go ahead and cut this, follow the line and cut it out, and then I'm also going to follow this line and cut this out too. So I'm just going to label it so I don't make a mistake. So this is the front, and then this is the back. So that's basically how you're going to cut this out. If you're working on a fabric, let's say you're working on a cotton fabric and a Kara fabric, as you can see, I'm using this in form of a long sleeve. So the reason I labeled it is so that when you're cutting it out, you can figure out where the back is. So you know that this neckline here is going to be the back, this is going to be the front. So to explain here is that if I want to attach this on, when I want to cut it out on my fabric, all I have to do is just to trace it out this way. At this side here, I'm not going to be adding seam allowance, I'm just going to use the exact measurement. But once I get to this side that is going to be attached back to my sleeve, I'm going to give it about ½ an inch this way, and then I'm also going to add ½ an inch on this side like this. And then again, when I come to this top part here, I'm not going to be adding any seam allowance on this neckline. I'm just going to cut exactly what I have here as my opening. There is no need to add seam allowance at this opening. That's what I'm trying to explain. So you can only add ½ an inch of seam allowance to sew this to the okay, this is our front, so we need that seam allowance. The same thing when you're cutting out your front pattern, you're just going to cut out your fabric on a fold, and then the only part you're adding your seam allowance is on this very end here. Again, no need to add seam allowance at this tip. You're just going to leave it for how the neckline is going to be, just like that. So this whole seam allowance we are adding here is just to be able to join this here to this here. So when these two seam allowance that we've joined meet each other, we'll still have exactly, now we are back to how we started again. So we are back to how it's supposed to be. So that's why you need the seam allowance at the part where you split it open, which is this part here, and then also this same part here. So that's the only part that you'll be needing the seam allowance, because we didn't add seam allowance on the pattern. There's no need to put any seam allowance at the neckline or at the opening of the neckline. You just cut out the neckline how it's going to be, like exactly how you have it on the pattern paper. That's how you're going to cut it on your fabric. So now for this here, remember this here, you're going to be cutting it on a fold. So I just use one single pattern, but when you're cutting it on your fabric, you're basically going to have the fabric on a fold at this edge here, right? So it's going to be on a fold, and then this one here is also going to be double layer. Then your sleeve, with the sleeve, this can also be in form of a short sleeve, right? It can cut off at this point and be a short sleeve. So guys, as you can see, you can have fun with this. You can use like a net fabric, you can use a satin fabric, a mesh fabric, anyone as the sleeve. You can also use the same color like this one here. You see they are using the same color of the fabric exactly on the same dress. So it depends on you how you want to make yours. There are different variations to this here, as you can see in. So guys, you can see that it has different variations. Some start at the shoulder, it's still the same thing, you just slash it down. It depends on you where you want it to start. So this one here, you can make it like a puffy sleeve. It depends on you. Just make sure that your sleeve pattern is the puffy sleeve pattern at the end, like a balloon sleeve. The same thing, you can make it in a stretchy fabric like this one here. It's still the same, a stretchy fabric or a polo fabric. It depends on you. So that's basically how you make a raglan sleeve. So thank you guys so much for watching. In the subsequent videos, I'm going to be using this to cut out and sew it on a dress. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.